Hi guys, Jonathan Rea here. We're at the end of an incredible season and we're at my home here in the Isle of Man, and I'm going to take you through my top 5 moments of the season. Number 5, Malaysia was a great moment for me because mathematically we could go into Malaysia and win the championship, but realistically I had no chance. And I hit a false neutral in the Super Pole lap and couldn't quite get the shift in time for the hairpin, so I started on the 3rd row. So with such a long start straight, I was really worried about the start, but I nailed both my starts and put myself in contention. And race 1 was a long race with my teammate Tom, who'd just gone off so fast at the beginning, and then I raced with Chaz. But at halfway point, Tom was dropping so fast, and I remember lap by lap just thinking to keep pushing to the end. And I had a strategy to pass Chaz in the very last lap, and it worked. So to win there was amazing because we really, on Saturday night, we didn't expect that. So race 2, honestly, we thought we can win here because if I repeat this result and Tom rides the way he did in race 1, we have a good chance. But you know, Chaz had something for me in the last lap that I didn't expect. You know, I did a perfect race until that point, lined up my pass on the back straight and braked as late as I could, but he swooped to the inside, came through and picked me up. We had some contact and he crossed the line first, but I mean, I'd have done the same, and it was a really exciting last lap, but it just meant that I had to wait 6 weeks to try and win the championship. Number 4, the double in ASSEN was incredible because nobody really knows, and I didn't play too much on it, but I was so sick that weekend. Coming from Aragon, I picked up some virus, and all my family were sick, my wife and Jake. So on Thursday night, I was in the clinic quite a lot, trying to get as much as much help as I could to get me through the weekend, and we did a good strategy throughout the weekend. When it came to the races, I was pretty confident in the package, and it was a race I remember a lot of people being involved for many laps, maybe 5 guys, but I remember with 5 to go in both races, I had enough in the group to really put my head down and win both races. And that feeling as a rider, knowing when you have that little bit extra to give and you can just ride away was incredible. It's a feeling that doesn't come a lot, but when it arrives, it's amazing, and that happened at ASSEN this year. Number 3, Portimao was a great weekend for me, but also one that was quite painful because in Super Pole I had a massive crash. It was a case of being overconfident. You know, I was pushing my bike to the limit. I really wanted the Super Pole that day, and I crashed in turn 2, but my bike ended up over the barrier in turn 3, and I played down an injury a lot. I'd really hurt my left wrist, and we started from the 3rd row of the grid, and I made 2 incredible starts that day. But race 1 I remember because it rained with 7 laps to go, and I had some spots on my visor, and I stayed out 1 more lap, but in the second part of the lap it was getting treacherous, so I pitted early. My teammate at that point, who we were racing with, he kept going. His strategy was different, and it was fully chucking it down, so I came out of the pits. I misjudged T6 and made a big mistake, but it meant really when I was crossing the line, he was exiting the pits, and we had a little tussle for a lap or 2, but I managed to get it done. I was saving my tyres in places where he wasn't, and we had enough at the end. So that was great because it was the first wet win on the ZX10R, and to back it up in race 2, another dry race, to have basically a wet and dry weekend and make a double there after the huge crash on Saturday was, it's one that really sticks in my mind and I'll remember for a long time. Number 2. It might seem strange to you that this hasn't made it to number 1, but the number 2 moment for me was winning the championship, because it was like an anticlimax for me, to be honest, with the 6-week break before the Jerez race, and with only 6 points to achieve, and until that point never being off the podium, we kind of accepted that we could win there and it was going to get done. But we really struggled all weekend, and to win the championship in race 1 and have to go into race 2 and then a test on Monday, it kind of really curbed all that excitement that I dreamt of or expected when I'd win the championship. But nonetheless, it was winning the championship was a consequence of all the other amazing moments we've had until that point. So For me, winning the championship in Jerez and the circumstances sits firmly at number 2. And at number 1, PHILLIP Island is an incredible place for me, not only because my wife's from there, but a track which I love. It's so unique and so fast. But until this season, I'd never even had a podium there. Going into PHILLIP Island with Kawasaki, my first time on the ZX-10R, you cannot believe the amount of pressure I felt. You know, leaving my previous team to come to Kawasaki and all the build-up in the off-season. I put myself under so much pressure to come out and do a good job. My winter training was immaculate. I could never be more prepared. So sitting on the grid that day at a track that Kawasaki hadn't previously won at for many, many, many years, I was under no illusions how tough it was going to be to win. But in race 1, I had a massive battle with Chaz Davies, Leon Haslam, Jory Torres. But in the end, I knew to beat the Aprilia on PHILLIP Island, I needed to lead on to the start straight. And the last lap was great with Leon. We passed each other a few times, but I knew I needed to stick a pass before the last corner. And I came out of that last corner and got as tucked in as you could ever imagine. And I crossed the line first. And that feeling of, I don't know, satisfaction or relief really was one that I'll remember forever, because it was massive decision to switch to Kawasaki, and at that point it was like, this is it, we're on a good one.